All right, good afternoon to all of you, and sorry for the late notice and notifying all of you, but we had a lot going on, and I wanted to make sure to get you the latest information that we possibly could. So it has been exactly 1 week since this tragic explosion claimed the lives of our heroic detectives, Joshua Kelley-Eklund, Victor Lemus, and Bill Osborn. As we continue to grieve as a department with this profound loss, our unwavering support remains with their families. And it's been a long week for them and our entire Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department during this incredibly difficult time. Sheriff's Homicide Bureau investigators, in coordination with our federal partners, have been working tirelessly around the clock to gather and process evidence, interview law enforcement personnel and community members, execute search warrants, and pursue every possible lead in this ongoing investigation. And I'm going to just take a quick pause because my goal in coming up here is to make sure that I update you on the most current information. There's a lot of information that we're still in the middle of gathering. So by no stretch of the imagination is anything I'm going to provide here a conclusion to a lot that has been going on. So at this time, we know that the day before Friday's explosion, Sheriff's Arson explosive detail detectives had responded to a request for assistance from the Santa Monica Police Department at a residential complex located in the 800 block of Bay Street in the city of Santa Monica. A resident had reported finding what appeared to be 2 hand grenade type devices inside a tenant storage unit in the building underground parking garage. Santa Monica Police Department officers responded, and the Sheriff's Arson explosive detail detectives arrived, did their investigation, at least their preliminary investigation, and x-rayed the devices and believed that they were both inert. The devices were nonetheless transported by the arson explosives detail detectives to be destroyed and rendered safe. From the start of this investigation, our department reached out to the Los Angeles Police Department's bomb squad for their assistance, as you saw them arrive last Friday, and immediately summons the LA County Fire Department, which they were very helpful to us when they first arrived. The other thing that I made sure that occurred is that I called the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and I also called the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, to assist us with this investigation. Additionally, the District Attorney's Office and the U.S. Attorney's Office have been extremely supportive of all of our investigative efforts. The ATF investigators assumed the lead on the post-blast investigation, and their national response team responded from the East Coast to assist us in trying to determine the origin and cause of this explosion. Today, we received an update on the ATF's post-blast explosion investigation, and based on the ATF's expertise and the combination of physical evidence and debris recovered at the scene, they have determined that one of the 2 grenades taken into custody detonated on Friday, and one of the grenades is unaccounted for at this time. Out of an abundance of caution, an extensive search of the entire training facility perimeter was conducted. This included x-raying all Special Enforcement Bureau vehicles, a grid search from the blast site and surrounding areas, and a thorough inspection of evidence, lockers, the gym, office spaces, and surrounding shrubbery. You get the drift. We have looked at everything out there that we possibly could. Since Friday, we have restricted public access on the Sheriff's Road from Eastern Avenue to Rollins Drive using patrol deputies at stationary posts for 24/7. Therefore, nobody from the public has had access to this area that I just described. We conducted a thorough search to locate the second device, but we haven't found it yet. In addition to conducting the post-blast investigation, the ATF will be assuming full control into investigating the whereabouts of this other device that is missing. Sheriff's homicide detectives will continue their investigation into the deaths of our 3 hero detectives. Our entire department has been collectively working on supporting those who are grieving. We have assigned a liaison to each of the families and are continuing to support our own personnel at the Special Enforcement Bureau, Homicide Bureau, and those who knew our fallen detectives. I have directed mandatory psychological visits for all involved personnel, including those of the Special Enforcement Bureau, our arson and explosive detail, and all those, when I say first responders, I'm not going to get into graphic details, but if you can imagine those first deputies, detectives, and other personnel that responded to the scene when this first happened, to see their coworkers in the condition that they found them. It was an absolute horrible sight. I've also called for an independent after-action review of the policies, practices, and equipment as it relates to our arson explosives detail. Since this tragic incident, all future explosive devices, inert or not, will be treated as if they are all live and will be disposed of accordingly. And I just want to, that's one change, but again, I know there's going to be a lot of very good questions. There are a lot of things. We're going to turn this upside down. We're going to look at everything we could. Why? Because we need to know what happened. We owe it to the families. And for God's sake, I never want this to happen again. Not only in our department, but there'll be lessons learned for other departments across the country and literally the world. At this time, our arson explosive detail is not responding to calls for service, but our special enforcement SWAT is now fully operational as of yesterday. I cannot tell you how grateful I am to Chief Jim McDonald and the Los Angeles Police Department, who came in from the very beginning to assist us, and they've been assisting us over the last week with our bomb call-outs and our SWAT call-outs. So again, I can't thank them enough for doing all that. Now, just switching gears on all of you, if anyone in our community encounters what they believe to be an explosive device, please do not touch it. I repeat, do not touch it. And immediately contact 911 or your local law enforcement agency so we can come and deal with it. If anyone has any information about this case, please contact the Sheriff's Homicide Bureau at 323-890-5500 or the ATF at 1-888-ATF-TIPS, which is basically 888-283-8477. Or if you prefer to provide information anonymously, please, as always, call Crime Stoppers by dialing 800-222-TIPS, which is 8477. There's only 2 speakers a day. I am the first. I am very proud to introduce my partner, the LA Division Special Agent in charge, Kenny Cooper. And I can't thank him and his men and women who have spent the last week with us working their tails off, who responded from the East Coast to help us figure out exactly what happened. And with that, I will turn it over to him now.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good afternoon. My name is Kenny Cooper. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the ATF LA Field Division. On behalf of our agency, we extend our deepest condolences to the family, friends, and colleagues of Detective Eklund, Lemus, and Osborn. After a tragic explosion claimed their lives last Friday, we quickly activated ATF's National Response Team, who flew in from all over the country. In 72 hours, the ATF's National Response Team, along with our federal, state, and local partners, conducted dozens of interviews, extensive post-blast examination of the blast scene, and in addition, a number of search warrants were written and served to collect additional evidence to support this investigation. We brought in more than a dozen explosive detection canines, a large team of ATF certified explosive specialists, our ATF special agent bomb technicians, as well as special agents working with the homicide detectives of LA County Sheriff's Department. We've meticulously examined a radius of over 400 feet from the blast site multiple times over the last 3 days. These are just a few of the many steps that we've taken over this last week. Our investigation shows that the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department took 2 grenades into custody from the Santa Monica storage unit, believing them to be inert. One of the grenades detonated at the Biscailuz Training Center, fatally injuring the 3 detectives. The investigation is ongoing to the status of the second grenade. We encourage everyone who may have any information about these devices or at this investigation at all to contact the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department or through the ATF. And we want to emphasize the general public how dangerous these devices are. If you find anything that looks like a grenade or a explosive device or is just an unknown object, please contact the law enforcement. We want to ensure a community that the public safety is our utmost priority. ATF stands shoulder to shoulder with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department in these difficult times. We are working diligently to find the answers for the victims' loved ones. So at this point, we'll open to any questions.
Yes.
What deal at this particular point exactly the techs were dealing with at that time? What type of military ordnance were these things precisely?
In my briefing this morning with the ATF, they gave us some indication, but it's all preliminary. And we didn't say this earlier, or maybe I missed it, is that the ATF will be conducting their thorough investigation, and we are hoping that we can, or they're telling us maybe about 45 days, because all their findings right now are preliminary, which includes the specific ordinance that we are dealing with, other than to tell you it was a grenade, a military-style grenade.
Are we talking War II? Are we talking Vietnam era? Are we talking Gulf? Are we talking Deuces? Are we talking M26s?
In 45 days, when their final report comes out, all that information will be in there.
Is there any photographic evidence that they took of those devices before they did anything related to the render safe procedure, which would give you guys a clue as to what they had?
Yes, they are, and the ATF is reviewing them now.
Meaning before they attempted to do the RSP, right?
I'm sorry?
Meaning before they attempted to do the render safe procedure on that grenade, you had photographs showing what they were?
Pete, you're getting into specific details, and I respect your job, but my job is to make sure that when I put out information that it is completely accurate, because I see all these TV cameras, and what I'm looking at are the families of my deputies who died, who lost their lives. So I want to make sure that when we put out the information, it's going to be 100% accurate, and we're going to have to wait for the report. Thank you.
Suspects or someone who may have had this material in their possession prior to the bomb techs picking it up?
We are conducting an extremely thorough investigation that involves not only our partners at the ATF, the FBI, the Los Angeles Police Department, and our Homicide Bureau. Every avenue is being looked at. Every person, every address. You've seen a lot of that activity over the last week, and that is day by day. And when we have more information, we'll be putting it out. Thank you. I'm going to go over here now.
Oh, sure, thank you. A two-parter. Can you just clarify, were the detectives transporting those grenades at the time, or were they cutting one of them? And then, as someone thinking like a layman, if you're looking for the second one, is it possible that they both exploded because of the magnitude of the explosion? Because someone may think, if there's a grenade missing, so did it leave the facility? And who would have taken it?
I'm going to turn that over to my partner at the ATF because they've done some preliminary work, and there will be some things that he can talk about to put out publicly today. And honestly, what we're doing is a lot of the information that's been put together. Some of them are theories based on the information we have, because all of you are asking very good questions. But there are three very important people here who can answer those questions who are no longer with us. So I'll turn it over to my partner, and then he can briefly talk about some of those items, and I'll try and answer anything that he may not be able to.
Listen, we're trying to be very sensitive to the investigation and to the families and to the community. We don't want to put any false information out. But I could tell you with clarity from our post-blast examination that we know one device exploded. And we have not recovered any evidence from a second device on that scene. So we know one exploded on that at that location. As far as the exact military type of grenade, of course, we have a fairly high degree certainty of what that is, and we will be absolutely investigating the manufacturer of that and where the travels, just like we do in any follow the gun or an explosive device. A secondary piece of what we will be investigating and helping LA County and the homicide detectives with is, of course, where did those devices originate from, and but as far as a potential suspect or anything like that, we're just not there yet. We've got a lot of information that we've got to process. As far as the exact grenade that you're asking about, you got to understand that our forensic samples of residue are at lab. That takes lab confirmation from our findings, and so that's a process that we absolutely will be forthcoming with all that information when we have it investigated at an absolute certainty to release that.
So, for instance, within 45 days, when a lot of these lab results come back, it may be determined that the second grenade was destroyed when the first one exploded. You just haven't found any remnants of that yet? Because I don't want to make it sound like it disappeared from the facility, because you haven't been able to find it, and you're asking the public to be careful not to touch one, and that's certainly important, but do you think it's off the facility?
It's more of a general public service announcement, right? This is a fair reminder to the public in general about how the dangers of this. This certainly exemplifies the heroic deeds that these detectives did. They went in harm's way, removed obviously very dangerous devices from the community, and this serves a reminder of how dangerous the job is.
Were they transporting it when it exploded, or were they cutting it?
I can tell you just the evidence, that's just parts of the investigation that we just don't want to talk about right now.
But can you say definitively that you don't believe that in between Santa Monica and the training facility that one of these grenades went missing?
I'm telling you definitively, we know one grenade exploded on that scene.
Did they force go the item before they attempted to do something to it for their sake? And if they did, why did they pick up explosive filler or a spoon or the dish?
Again, Pete, 45 days, and we'll have that thorough report. We're not going to get into that level of detail here right now. And I get it. It's your job. And I want to go back to something you said about cutting. There's no evidence of anybody cutting anything at this point. I know that, and this is why I'm being very cautious about what I say. Information was getting out from people that they have sources here, and their sources were absolutely inaccurate. It's just shame on those who are putting this stuff out on the internet that have other ulterior motives. And it's sad. And if I sound a little fired up about it, it's because our families, their kids are reading this stuff on social media, and it's wrong. And they shouldn't do it. They should grow up and stay away from that.
Were the detectives doing a render safe procedure on that device, yes or no?
That'll come out in the investigation, Pete.
Let's go for shakeout.
Let me give somebody else a chance to ask questions over here.
Sheriff, just a quick clarification. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. We believe in the investigation when the deputies had the grenades, 2 were transferred to that facility, but only, as we know right now, only 1 exploded. That we know for sure they had 2 when they were transporting them.
Based on the investigation that the ATF has done thus far, that's what it appears to be. But like I said earlier, this is not to give you, any of you, conclusions of anything that happened. This is an update on what we know at this time. The ATF, Mr. Cooper just talked about the extensive, that's why we brought them in. They are national, actually you could argue world experts. They're going to send items to the lab. I mean, they're going to do peer reviews. There is so much work that needs to be done. It would be irresponsible of any of us to conclude that this happened or this was that. We do not have that information, and I'm unwilling to put out misinformation right now. There's enough of that out there already.
And will we have more dogs come out to try to look at the area? Are we done examining that area at least for now, or will we be out there again with the canines?
I can tell you that was over abundance of caution.
Oh.
That was, the question was, will we be bringing more explosive canines to continue doing searches? We are confident with that. Over the abundance of caution, we searched a blast area far greater than the results of that explosive device. Of abundance of caution, we used drones. We used bucket trucks to look into trees. We searched well beyond, and we didn't do it once. We did it multiple times, and that was over an abundance of caution of that search.
Thank you. Is there,
Cooper, is that based on the idea of what we had there that's blue? Could it have been original in the way the military item was? Or did somebody remanufacture this thing to make it far more energetic than a normal device would be? Because what you're telling me here is that you've got a blast wave and you got something that can push it a couple hundred feet. You went to 400 feet. If it went farther than that, that would indicate that somebody had that thing remanufactured, put something else in there other than the ordinary killer.
What's that?
Here, I got it. Man, I love you, Pete. And you're asking good questions, but we just simply don't have the answers at this point. That's why everything that these gentlemen did is going to get sent to the national laboratory. I believe it's in Alabama. They're going to test everything. We want all those answers. And again, I'm not going to stand up here and make conclusions. You have very good questions. You've obviously done your research, but let's pause on that. Young lady over here.
possibility, Sheriff Luna, that there is a live grenade someplace between Santa Monica and the training facility, somewhere in that region, or was there a 4th team member who you're looking at, who might know where that grenade is? We're just trying to.
So the first part of the question is, do we believe a grenade may have fallen out between Santa Monica and the East Los Angeles Biscailuz Center? We believe with confidence that did not occur. In regards to the other questions about another person, those are all the investigative leads that we're looking at. This investigation is far from over. We anticipate getting as many answers as we can, but I decided to come out here today, and I knew there were going to be tough questions. I anticipate tough questions, but the fact is, right now, there's a second grenade that we're not 100% sure where it's at.
But there's a
And it's-
possibility it could have exploded, it could have been destroyed.
Yes, there's a distinct possibility. I am not the explosives expert. That's why I sent ATF is here. They're going to look at all that. That's why I called them in the first place. We wanted somebody outside this department to review everything that happened, and even to go further with this after action, which I'm asking the ATF to assist on, to make sure that our policies, our procedures, our practices, our equipment are all in line where they should be. Those are my expectations, those are our standards, and I'm not going to take anything less than that.
Has the search
Leanne?
warrant come up with a name of anybody potentially as a suspect here? You've searched a number of locations, the apartment, you've no doubt gone back, tracked who lived there at whatever time. Do we have a series of names that you've evaluated? Have any of those turned into a possible suspect at all? At any of those locations?
This is an ongoing investigation, and I can tell you that we have multiple investigators working on this with multiple agencies, and we are looking at different avenues. I am not ready to discuss here and now any names of any individuals that may be people of interest or anything of that nature. Not yet.
Sheriff, I don't want to keep going over this, but I also don't want the public to think that, the question is, did the sheriff's department lose this grenade somewhere in the facility? Just to understand, it went from Santa Monica to the facility. At the point at which it got to the facility to now, don't know where it went, don't know if it exploded, just nothing, any idea in there what happened?
There are 2 grenades that were transported from Santa Monica to Biscailuz Center in East Los Angeles. There was an explosion that killed 3 of our beloved detectives. We are standing up here only a week later. We are still trying to determine what happened, where it went. It could be that we find something out that maybe it did once ATF looks at everything. We do not know at this time. It's 7 days into it. It's going to take a lot longer to figure it all out.